Well, hello, this is Crypto Isaac with another video, and thanks so much for joining me in this video, and hopefully you can learn a thing or two regarding the crypto market space. So today I would like to talk about something that is pretty dangerous for a new investor, which is buying the fucking dips, BTFD. Don't get me wrong, this is actually a really good advice. You should always buy it when it dips, but when it comes to new investors, you guys have to understand that this is quite a dangerous thing. And hopefully, what I would share with you guys would make you understand that sometimes buying the fucking dips is quite dangerous for you. So let's talk about it, okay? First off, lack of capital to buy the fucking dips. It leads to potential unnecessary debt. Let me explain how and why. Okay, let's take a look at this Bitcoin, right? Let's say you have $10,000 to invest. Okay, you heard about Bitcoin when it broke above 10,000 and said it's going to the moon. So you bought Bitcoin, let's say for example, at 12,000. Okay, this is where you bought your first Bitcoin, and it increases. Yeah, you made lots of money. But the next thing you know, as everyone knows, Bitcoin is just going through some it's going through some problems right now, so just give it time to get back to its feet. Okay, let's look at the 1 hour chart. Lots of new investors would probably look at the 1 hour chart. Okay, so first of all, when you start, just keep in mind this is for people who has little to no investment experience. So a majority of people, well, at least to the people that I speak to, a majority of them, when they invest in Bitcoin, they put all the money in one shot. They bought Bitcoin just like that, all the way in. They do not split their fiat to go in, and that is actually a really dangerous thing to do when it comes to investing. It's dangerous, especially with cryptocurrency, where it's so volatile. And let me explain why. So once you put in all your money, $10,000, it could be your savings, it could be money that you set aside for a vacation, and lots of your friends has been saying, oh, buy Bitcoin, just hold off in the vacation, just whack it in. So you bought everything here, and then it goes up and down, right? So let's say Bitcoin starts to drop all the way down here. This drop lasted for a good few days. So when it dropped here, for example, you said, oh, I'm still in profit, it's okay, I'll just hold. When it drops further, it drops further, all the way to 10,000. When you bought it at 12,000, you start to see your portfolio in red. Oh, this doesn't apply only to Bitcoin, it applies to all other altcoins as well. And altcoins was having a field day back here, but this is just to give you an example. Okay, so once Bitcoin starts to drop near where you bought in, just for a new investor, it's really easy to feel some panic and like, okay, should I protect my capital? There's lots of advice out there says that you have to protect your capital, so you would consider to start cashing out here, and then it starts to go down here. That's how panic selling happens. But the thing is, it bounced, sure. What if you were to sell when it goes down here? And lots of new investors actually did. They sold back here, and yeah, it starts going back up, and they start buying at the top again. So if you put all of your capital in at one purchase, it is a very dangerous thing to do because you don't have any more fiat to pump in, and that leads to borrowing money from somewhere, and then you start buying all these dips, right? And remember, back in December and early January, it's still possible to use credit cards to buy cryptocurrency. So that's where you just develop unnecessary debt that you can't possibly pay out in the next few coming weeks. So that's the first reason why I think it's a bad idea to buy the fucking dips for a new investor, especially if you don't understand what's going on. Secondly, is the lack of technical analysis skills. unable to determine a good buy zones. So you go on Twitter. There's a lot of pro traders, pro chartists says, oh, this price is where it's going to start to bounce. So I'm putting in some longs over there. And come on, for new investors, they would probably follow the people who has a good experience and stuff. So let's say the pro starts to draw a line here, right, and said this is where the dip will end. So they start buying, and the thing is, and then it starts to crash down the next few weeks, and that is where panic happen. Okay, the thing about new investors, just take note, when the pros determine this price is a good price to go in, they know exactly what they're doing. They accumulate more. They know from a technical analysis, from TA point, that this is a good place to buy. But for new investors, it's hard to understand why this is a good bounce. Okay, because the first thing you see when you open Bitcoin's chart, you were saying, oh, what the hell is this? This looks like the matrix. So you start learning a bit here and there, a bit here and there, right? But these traders, they have been trading for a good number of months or years, so they understand what they're trying to do, and they understand the risk involved. So when it starts to crash down here, the pro traders know when to catch out, when it looks like a dead cat bounce, and they would save their portfolio. Or for new investors, the only thing in going through their mind is hodling. So they would hodl all this, and then when it starts to go down here, that's where panic selling happens. Well, it's easy to say. This is a daily chart. Let's go to a 1 hour chart. Look at that. That is a good week. Bitcoin was not going up at all. So this is where lots of panic could happen. It's very dangerous. So if you lack the technical skills, buying the fucking dips is a very dangerous thing to do. You would buy this dip, you will buy this dip, you will buy all these dips, but as an investor, it's really easy to succumb to emotional trading, and then that's where, when it drop even further to save your capital, you would sell off your position. So next, this is what I talked about briefly. They're more new investors are more likely to succumb to panic selling than to catch a falling knife. What is a falling knife? Falling knife is when this happens. For pro traders, they know what they're doing. They know why this would be a nice bounce. They've done all the research, they've done all these indicators, and they said, okay, this is a good place to bounce, and then they catch the knife. But for new investors, with the lack of technical analysis, they do not understand why this would be a good point to buy. So they would end up buying here, because a lot of pro traders got in here, and it's going to go up, shoot to the moon, and then they start buying when it rise, and the next thing you know, it's going down. So this leads to a lot of other problems. Buying the fucking dips has not worked out well in this bear market, especially when a horde of new investors came in back in December. And this is causing a lot of faith to be it's really challenging. It's really it's really giving cryptocurrency the bad name that it is. We all know, for example, for those who have been in this for at least 6 months, we all know that this is just a temporary setback. Even if it crashes to 1,000, it's going to bounce back up. But for new investors who invest top here, they're about to lose 80% of their money. It really takes a toll on their mental health. So that's a few reasons why I think buying the fucking dips as a new investor is a very dangerous thing to do. You should just hodl, learn some technical skills on why Bitcoin is dropping. Not why, but where is a potential good buy zones and exit points. You can check out my second video where I talked about how to set up. I talked about where is a good buy zones and sell zones if you want to exit a trade. So just hang on, guys. Bitcoin is just doing what it does naturally. It's dropping like crazy. I haven't experienced this before myself, so I am pretty new to this as well. But the good thing is I bought Bitcoin back in was $3,000, so I'm not in massive loss as you are. So you control your money. You have to make some decisions whether you want to hodl or you want to sell. But I really really don't recommend selling now because it's such a huge drop. You do not want to sell when it's dropping like this. You want to sell it when it's up here or something, when it's all green for the last few days. That's where, if you want to get out, you get out, not when there's consecutive red days. So I hope you guys learned something here, and thank you so much. Leave a like, leave a comment if you wish. And yeah, but let's just hold this through, guys. We will be okay, and have a good week ahead. This is Crypto Isaac, and see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.